I'm Christine Gordy. I've been driving, almost 25 years and close to 6 million safe miles.
You're lying.
So drivers, as you guys know, because y'all seen the video, I seen the video of those Hirschbach driver ambassadors riding shotgun with autonomous trucking company Aurora. The goal for that company was to gather feedback from so-called paid actor, just to give them a heads up on what's to come. Those actors that set shotgun, they observe real-world navigations on the highways. As you guys know, there's been a lot of skepticism when it comes to self-driving trucks and what it means to some of us drivers out here in the coming future. But the company noted that the technology of self-driving trucks isn't intended to replace the driver, right? But rather to assist the driver by handling the driving while the drivers focus on inspections and logistics. Now, let me just stop right there.
Hold on.
Inspections and logistics. So while the truck is driving on the highway, I'm going to be in the back going over the paperwork and everything, while the truck just moseying on down the road. That's what it's supposed to be helping me doing. Inspections. Don't you supposed to do inspections before you get into the truck? Doing pre and post trips. So while the truck is driving down the highway in real world conditions, we supposed to be handling what?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
That's a question that I will leave to you guys in the comments below. Let me know the real world experience of a driver while the truck is actually driving down the highway, and to see if you going to be doing logistics work and inspection. So drivers, I came across this video just like all of you guys, and I thought to myself, Hirschbach is moving the goalpost again. They brought in some paid actors from Hirschbach, so-called driver ambassadors. Ambassadors is still a thing? I thought the term ambassador was gone when Variant went under. Remember those drivers ambassadors over there and what happened to them? So they're still ambassadors in trucking still, I guess. I don't know. But they brought them in to ride shotgun in their new autonomous trucks. Of course, as you guys already know, Hirschbach invested in 500 of them to come onto their fleet. It's coming, right? Not only Hirschbach, if this becomes a thing and they become successful with it, other trucking companies is going to follow suit. And as I said before in my previous video that you guys could check out on my other channel, I'm Not a Trucker, but make sure you guys go subscribe to that. I did say that the outlook of trucking is definitely changing because all of us old school drivers is no longer in the truck. Now you got these new school drivers. Hell, you even got people that's not even interested in trucking anymore. A lot of them is only getting their CDL just to jumpstart something else. It's not even about trucking lifestyle anymore. So while those new jack drivers that's not interested in the truck, companies is going to now have to look towards the future of trucking and getting their products and their freights moved. Now, overall, the technology definitely looks interesting. Hell, don't get me wrong. Who wouldn't want to drive in a self-driving vehicle? Tesla is a thing now. I have some reservations when it comes to a full 80,000-pound semi-truck. Again, like I said, it looks interesting, but it's dangerous at the same time. Remember that video with the Tesla driver who was actually asleep behind the wheel of the car going down the highway? Some of you guys thought that was hilarious. To the person that was filming it, they thought it was funny. But imagine seeing a truck driver sleeping behind the wheel of a self-driving truck. It wouldn't be hilarious. It would probably be scary if you're the one that's driving on the side of that truck. I'm just saying. But in all of that video, you want to know what caught my attention for real, though? It wasn't about the self-driving trucks. It wasn't about those sellout drivers that's trying to convince other drivers that this technology is great. No, it ain't that. It ain't that. It's not about the future of this coming technology. No, drivers. No, drivers. What caught my attention was the blatant exaggeration of one driver in particular. This driver right here. She goes by the name of Christine Gordon. And she gets on Beyonce's internet and claims that she's been driving for 25 years with almost hear me out now, I'll say it one more time for the people in the back, 6 million safe miles.
Hold on.
I'm Christine Gordy. I've been driving, almost 25 years and close to 6 million safe miles.
In 25 years.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
$1
million. Okay. Hold on. See, we're going to have a serious conversation because the math ain't mathing on this.
Let's do math.
See, drivers, what she just said is quite literally, mathematically, and legally impossible for a solo driver to do. So let me try to explain this.
All right, explain this to me like I'm a 2-year-old, okay? Because there's an element to this thing I just cannot get through my thick head.
So let me see if I can ponder this, right? Let me see if I can rack this around my brain right quick. Let me see. 6 million miles in 25 years. That comes to about 240,000 miles every single year. That's about 4,615 miles every week. 52 weeks a year with 0 vacations. That breaks down to 657 miles every single day. That is a total farce, especially up under the current FMCSA's hours of service. See, for those who don't know, you have an 11-hour driving limit, right? So to hit 657 miles in 11 hours, you have to average about 60 miles per hour for every single second the clock is ticking. That means no traffic, no fueling, no pre or post trips, no DOT inspections, no scaling loads, no food, no bathroom breaks. None. A hard-running solo driver usually taps out at about 100K and 120,000 miles a year. This chick right here, she's claiming double the absolute maximum of a top-tier solo driver.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Drivers, I might be wrong in this assessment. And this is my opinion, right? Again, like I said, I could be wrong. She probably could have hit those miles in 25 years. But how does a claim like that can never happen? Well, now that I sit back and think about it, right? Because I have to think long and hard about it, okay? There are only a few ways to calculate those type of miles in 25 years. And you want to know what the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to doing miles like that? The Russians. Yes.
Russians. Should have known.
Maybe she was out there running 2 or 3 logs at a time, or quite possibly using the help that the Russians offer. The same kind of help that we see from the Black Ops outfit out of Chicagoland in the great state of Illinois. But then I stop myself and I actually think about it. The truck can only go so fast. Maybe team driving, right? The Russians.
Should have known.
Do help you with ghost drivers, right? If she's counting the miles, if she's counting truck miles while she was, quote unquote, in the sleeper and the ghost driver was driving, sure, I could see the truck hitting 240K a year. But you got to think about it this way, because with the help of the Russians, those could be her miles. But theoretically, if it was legit team driving, those miles aren't hers. You don't get credit for the miles that you slept through, right? Or maybe drivers, maybe she owned a few trucks, right? And she's probably might be adding all those trucks together. She probably might have 3 or 4 trucks and maybe about 3 or 4 drivers driving in it. And then maybe since she's like the owner of those trucks, maybe she just using those miles that the other drivers accumulated for. But that's a business stat and not a driver stat, right? So look, drivers, don't get me wrong in this, right? Legendary million-mile drivers definitely exist. We got 2 million. We got some that's probably might be touching 3, but they don't hit 6 million miles in 25 years. Those guys are usually out here on the road about 40 or 50 years tops. Listen to what I'm saying, drivers. When companies like these leads with a claim that any driver with a calculator and a logbook, we know that doing those type of miles is impossible. It kind of makes you think this whole thing is scripted and those drivers pretty much pay for it. Now, drivers, if we're going to talk about the raw and honest trucking, let's start with the math, okay? And let's take it back with me on the Trucking Unfiltered and Underrated podcast with yours truly.